Hello, beautifuls. Welcome back to my Chanel. Oh my goodness. Guess what I found, my loves? Guess what I found?
A dead body.
I have found some more episodes of Extreme Makeover Plastic Surgery Edition. This show, my loves. The last time we reacted to one of these shows, I believe it was actually last year. And the reason why I say that is because I could only get access to about, I think it was 4 full episodes online. This show is one of the shows that's been scrubbed from the internet, and I think it's generally because attitudes towards extreme makeovers with plastic surgery has shifted away from what the opinion was in the early 2000s, which was basically, get on this show and change your life, girls.
Why aren't you making it to the planet?
Now, if I remember correctly, if you also remember correctly, my loves, and have watched all of the previous videos, this show wasn't actually as bad, if you can call it that, as shows like The Swan or Bridalplasty. Because there was no, like, competitive aspect, it seemed like the team of doctors actually genuinely cared about the patient that came onto the show and wanted to produce a well-rounded outcome for them that would help improve their quality of life. That being said, if I remember correctly also, I think that the narrator was the worst part of this show.
She's an old lady. I mean, look at her. She's old.
A bit like when we react to 10 Years Younger. I think the narrator is just like, oh, just utter filth, girls.
Disgusting.
Absolutely vile from start to finish. Now, because it's been such a long time since we've done one of these episodes, I'm going to go back and look at one of the top comments on the last episode of this I made. Let me actually just double check when that was. When was that? Oh my goodness. Here we go. Here we go. Going back, girls. Going back. Is this it? Where is this? Are you joking? Has it been this long? This is wild.
Yes.
So one of the top comments on the last episodes in which we watched 2 extreme makeovers is by Doreen Green, and they say, unfortunately, in America, a lot of those types of surgeries are considered cosmetic if they are not life-threatening or fatal and not covered by insurance. That, to me, is absolutely wild. So, my lovelies, today's episode is called Extreme Makeover of Fritz, Beverly Hills plastic surgeon, Dr. John Perlman, which I almost read as Ron Perlman, and I thought, is he moonlighting as a doctor somehow?
Damn.
So, my loves, grab yourself a little beverage. I have no idea what's going to happen today. I don't remember anything about Extreme Makeover, really, apart from the wild intro sequence. And should we watch this? Are you ready? Let's watch another episode of Extreme Makeover Plastic Surgery Edition.
Extreme Makeover.
Extreme Makeover. Oh, she's got a sparkle before and after. Oh, that was a very swift intro. Done.
Meet Mr. Nice Guy, Fritz Barringer, on his family farm near Mankato, Minnesota.
Okay, so we've got a farmer who's known as Mr. Nice Guy. Do you know, ever since basically the incel revolution of the internet and all of the chans combined, I can't bear the idea of actually legitimately referring to someone as Mr. Nice Guy because it's just been spoiled. Much like the word daddy. I can't hear the word daddy now without thinking, oh dear.
Naughty mummy.
It holds a lot of fond memories for me since Dad has passed away.
After his dad died and brothers left, he stayed on out of duty and respect.
I did it because I felt obligated to stay there. Sometimes you put in.
I'm just going to cut in here and say that actually being on a farm is incredibly tough work. I could not be a farmer. I could probably have my own homestead at some point. You know, that's the dream, isn't it? Leave the city, have a homestead, react to America's Next Top Model whilst pruning some turnips.
Lady Gaga. Die.
But the idea that this guy is now just managing his own farm by himself, but also going on Extreme Makeover is wild. I wonder what they're actually going to do for Fritz. Is Fritz his first name or his last name?
15, 16 hours a day on the farm. And it gets pretty old. And if it's something that you don't want to do, it becomes really old.
Nice may describe Fritz's selfless character, but not his looks.
Fritz, understand. You horrible, horrible girl.
Oh yes, that bitchy narrator is back. I can't believe it is nice in character,
But not in looks.
Electric chair.
How did any of us survive the early 2000s? Absolutely unhinged. But you know what? It is actually nice to see another episode in which a man is getting an extreme makeover. We very rarely see this. I feel like it's a thing that dominates much more of a female space than anything else. So it's interesting that we're going to see another male makeover. I think we've got less than 5 on my Chanel. We've got the guy who tried to look like Elvis. We have one of the guys on a previous episode of Extreme Makeover. Maybe this is the 3rd one? No. Is it?
Yes!
Fritz, he's not your drop-dead gorgeous man.
He's
I guess.
Christy finds me more attractive, maybe from the neck down, because my facial features aren't my high point.
I do not think this guy is like, I just think some self-esteem is all he needs. Maybe a bit of a better haircut and maybe a little bit of like a sharper beard. I think though that this in the day, when was this? 2001, maybe 2002, maybe at latest 2004. I do think facial hair on a guy makes a massive difference. If he's like sculpted in the facial hair department, instantly younger, instantly more edgy, instantly more attractive. And you can like soften or enhance features of the face with a well-defined beard. Does this man need an extreme makeover? Because this is before the days of social media and also before the days of like male grooming as such. Is it really before? I don't know if I can say that. Before the days of male grooming. I mean, it kind of was, I guess.
My facial features aren't my high point. I feel like my ears stick out. I got teased a lot about my ears when I was in school. I was called Dumbo, or just people would say.
Here we go again with a school narrative. Aren't children in school just hateful little children?
Ears, you know.
Dumbo.
Kind of a nickname.
Poor thing.
I had broke my nose twice.
Oh, there was a jump cut there. I think this episode has been cut out of a longer episode, and I think the doctor that's worked on these people on these shows on his YouTube channel, this is just like a supercut of his work and the story of like each patient that he's done. I think that's what's happening here, which is why we're seeing jump cuts. It's not me editing it. Just also want to say though, I kind of find like rougher features on a guy quite attractive. I like a bit of a broken nose. I like a bit of like rough and ready ruggedness. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, if a guy had like a cute little pussy nose like me, I would be like, okay, you've had a nose job and a little pussy nose job at that. Sure. It's not a deal breaker, but like, I don't mind a broken nose. I couldn't be like,
Oh my god, so you broke your nose in high school, you're disgusting, girls.
Don't let anyone ever tell you you're not pretty. You're not, but don't let them tell you.
I could never be like that. Come on, all the boys in the audience, go out and get a broken nose so Mummy Luxie will take you on a date. I'm a spoken for woman.
I love him enough that I look.
Hello, whose pussy is this?
Hungry, aren't you?
Yeah, I said, a single mom with 3 kids and you're gonna kick her out on the street with nowhere to go. I said, I can't believe that's even legal.
What?
And so a knight in faded jeans rescued her family and moved them into his tiny home.
I had never had anybody stick up for me,
And right there I knew, hey, I just found my dream guy.
It would be nice to have something done for myself.
Wait, so unfortunately it feels like the storyline's been cut up there. It sounded like his wife had some children and they were in a difficult situation and they were being thrown on the street, and this guy, Fritz, took them into his home and now is in love with the mum and acting as a good father and role model for the children. This guy is a catch. This guy is a massive catch. I can't believe his self-esteem is telling him that his face is not worth it. Not worth it enough, not just for like a little bit of Botox or a little bit of filler to like, I don't know, masculinize the face if you want. He's literally on Extreme Makeover. Extreme plastic surgery makeover.
It would be nice to have something done for myself.
Oh.
So we asked correspondent
Relatable.
Brad Satin of the local Eyewitness News team to help us out.
I have a special bulletin for you. You are getting an extreme makeover.
Oh! Oh.
And for this man, his looks and his life are about to be totally transformed.
Okay, what's gonna happen?
Beyond anything he can imagine.
Into the airport.
As Fritz's plastic surgeon.
Fritz, welcome. Dr. John Perlman, nice to meet you.
Oh my goodness, have you ever seen a more American-looking surgeon in your life?
No.
Dr. John Perlman, okay. Like, again, I can't see Fritz here. Look at, like, I wouldn't describe him as...
Some rough-haired, rugged, ugly old guy from down the farm.
Would you? Like... Okay, right, what's gonna happen?
Nice to meet you.
This will be a good opportunity for him to transition into a
Well, don't say transition.
sense of self-confidence about his appearance.
Okay, so the idea here is to give Fritz a plastic surgery makeover to build his confidence. That is highly relatable, a lovely way to explain it. But this narrator has been like,
Oh, he's not very good looking, is he? Oh, he's nice in nature, but not on his face, girls.
Nobody wanted to marry you.
die.
once again, the narrator is the horrific piece of work, and the doctors appear to be quite sensible. Sensible? Can we agree? Is this sensible?
I've heard people can get their ears pinned back.
Okay.
And if that's something that could be done, that would be great.
I'm going to be enhancing the fold that's lacking on your right ear. Your other ear has the fold, but we're going to bring that in a little bit just so that you're not really seeing either of them.
My nose I have broke twice, probably about 15 years ago.
Fine, so remove the bump.
He's got quite a pussy nose. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe narrow the bridge a little bit, and maybe just bring this part up slightly. We don't want to overdo it. We want your nose to look natural, of course.
Well, I think Dr. Perlman is a pretty good doctor. I put a lot of trust and faith in him, and I think he'll do a good job. I want it to be great, but then it's still kind of scary. You're going under the knife.
Okay, so that was kind of sped past quickly. I don't know about the stylistic terms of here. Like, I don't know what we're going to see in this episode about, like, the makeover section, because in the last couple of episodes, we saw that they went to a stylist, we saw that they went to, like, a hairdresser, a skin specialist, and that sort of, like, aided the plastic surgery transformation. I don't know if this episode is just purely going to be based on the plastic surgery, but there was 2 plastic surgery options happening there for an extreme makeover. Something like ear pinning, would you consider an extreme makeover? I went to school in the 90s and early 2000s. And when I was at school, there were some people in my year group who had ears that would stick out, and they did get them pinned back. I think we had three different ones, and they were done on the NHS. It was a relatively quick procedure with minimal, like, healing. Once again, I just can't believe that this is something that's not, I don't know, just not, like, readily available. Like, this guy has clearly struggled with it. We haven't heard how old he is, but this guy has struggled with it for a long time, and it's like, this should have been done as, like, a teenager, like 10 years old, maybe a bit older. I don't quite know how old you have to be to get ear pinning, but that to me is not like an extreme cosmetic plastic surgery. It's just like almost basic healthcare. I mean, your ears still technically function, even if they are sticking out a little bit, but in order to, like, assimilate a little bit or pass in society, like, it's not that serious, is it? Like, it's not a serious operation. The nose job, however, is going to be more of an impactful thing, I think, to witness. So I'm excited to see what the nose looks like. I wonder if male nose jobs are harder to do than, like, traditionally female nose jobs, if you know what I mean. Because, like, I feel like a lot of female nose jobs are, like, kind of the same, but also quite Eurocentric feature makeover. So it's just like a pissy, narrow nose with a little upturned ski slope, one of those sorts of things.
Oh, for God's sake, I can't stand this.
But I'm in good hands.
The moon!
I know it's a little scary, but
oh my goodness! Okay, so he's having a lot more work done.
I'm in good hands. I know.
He's having a lot more work done than just the nose job here. We can see something is happening on the chin, maybe a little bit of an implant to make the chin stronger. He's definitely having, is it fat taken out here? The buccal cavity fat? That looks like that's what those circles are that are drawn there. We're having potentially cheek implants or some sort of cheek augmentation, probably implants to make a stronger cheekbone. And you can see he's got some drawing here on his nose for removal of that bump. We weren't told what else he is having done, so I'm guessing we're going in this in the dark, and we're going to see his extreme makeover at the end. She's got a degree.
That's a little scary, but it's the first day of it.
Under the knife. Oh!
And Dr. Perlman's first task, pinning back those ears.
Oh, yes.
I really thought it would be a little more difficult to get it perfect, and as far as I can tell, we've achieved perfection.
Next, he must smooth the hump in Fritz's nose.
We're going to file it down a little bit more, but that is starting to look very pleasing to me.
After a mini brow lift,
it's just
a brow lift! Oh, fantastic! He's having a brow lift! I have never heard of a guy getting a brow lift. Ah, my goodness, that means I get to use this cutaway again.
Time for a brow lift.
Unfortunately, it's not Dr. DeBrowlift this time.
Well, this is awkward. It is eyebrows, and I think that will be very helpful.
Dr. Perlman lipos his hips, flanks, and abs.
Oh, wow. He really is having a lot of body work done as well. So look at those circular nipples, girl. So he's having flanks and abs done. That's like tummy sort of area, isn't it? If we were doing it in this day and age, that would be the precursor to a BBL.
We want to do this very gently and delicately.
Time to shave the turkey.
I don't understand!
The least amount of trauma possible.
He then sculpts his...
Okay, so actually here, when we're watching this, like, liposuction motion, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep this in. It isn't very graphic, so I should really be able to. Hopefully, Susan's not going to be like,
I saw that! Disgusting! disgusting pervert. Look what you're doing to that man.
Oh, bother.
He's doing it really gently, and I am so used to seeing liposuction done with needles like this long, and they're going like,
oh, get it out, girls. Get out the slut.
Good heavens.
That was a lot, wasn't it? My goodness, I'm doing some cardio today.
Cheeks with fat injections and removes the buccal fat pads.
Okay, so he's doing fat injections into the cheekbone up here, I'm guessing, and then also removing the buccal fat cavity. I thought it was going to be a implant, but fat transfer seems to make more sense. It'll also be more permanent and could potentially create a much more natural looking outcome. I recently had my cheekbones refilled. I had 1 mil divided between both cheeks, so it was like 0.5 mil in each side, about, in order to get them looking really, really, really appropriate. I believe I had Revelax Deep, and I absolutely love the way it's turned out. It's very subtle, but you can really see it, and it makes such a good difference. A good cheekbone makes a wild difference to your face. I wouldn't go for much more than 1 mil because I don't want a wide face. I just want a more defined face. All these things to consider when you get plastic surgery, my love.
Just a touch more.
I love their like, we're doing this and we're doing that and it's going around here. I love that effect so much. Welcome the early 2000s. After Effects Hoomst.
Fritz receives a masculine jawline.
Yes. I think it's in there perfectly.
Implant?
Right centered. And I like what I see when I look at that.
6 steps on the road to becoming a new
Wow.
man.
So he has had liposuction, cheeks, ears, brow, jaw, and nose. That is quite an extreme makeover. That's actually a lot of work to have done in one go. This is almost like the male version of the Swan, like the Gander girls.
Only one will make it to the pageant, girls.
I do wonder how he's going to heal from this, because this is... to have like stuff done to your face and to your like chest and stomach just seems so extreme to have all done in one go, because like you're gonna feel rough as fuck, for lack of a better phrase, from having liposuction, because it's like internal bruising and just like not very fun at all. Areas are gonna feel tight and swollen and horrible. And then like to also have your nose done, so you're not gonna be able to breathe properly. You're not really gonna be able to eat properly because you've had your jaw done. You're not really gonna be able to like want to move around a lot because of your body. So I hope he's okay. I hope this goes okay.
How are you doing, buddy? Good. Congratulations.
Oh, wow.
Everything went
Literally
well.
the Swan.
I'm gonna be really happy.
2 weeks later, sparkly girls.
Excited to see my ears and my nose.
Wow, what a transformation. Do you see what I mean when I say cheekbones? Something about cheeks. If you do cheeks, it instantly changes the face. He has a little bit, is this going to be a bit much? But he has a little bit of that Jocelyn Wildenstein effect at the moment. But I looked like this when I came out of my surgery. Maybe not quite the same, obviously. But I definitely had like massive cheeks and a lot of swelling around here. Now, because he's got facial hair, I don't know if you can really tell about his swelling that he's got under here, but I do not miss having to wear that band. Has the brow lift worked? I guess we'll have to see a before and after to really make sense. The lighting isn't best here. He's definitely got more of like that masculine, like a masculine arch. I don't know. Oh, I'm excited. We never see men getting makeovers.
I'm really excited to see my ears and my nose. Both are going to be dramatic changes.
Let's take this off and take a look.
Oh.
Very good. All right, lift it up.
Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, I stand corrected. That is a gorgeous male nose.
Wow. Wow, that is great.
We are literally watching facial masculinization surgery here. How utterly unhinged that cis people can just get what they want done without having to prove anything. So recently, okay, I'm gonna go on a bit of a rant here that's not anything to do with this show. It's to do with like how healthcare is managed. In the UK, I'm paying privately to have my chest done. I'm having a breast enhancement in, about a month's time from this point. And I have to prove that I have been who I am for longer than 2 years, even though this is private, and even though I have had like other trans surgeries, like I've had my face completely rearranged, and they're like, no, I have to show more for my breast augmentation than I ever had to for my face. And I'm a little bit like, why? If I was a complete cis male and wanted breasts, surely I should be able to just be like, yeah, it's fine, I just want a breast implant, you know, to look more like pecs or something. I would be given that instantly without any like intrusion into my medical history. It's really strange. And it's not as if like you can sue a doctor afterwards being like, you've ruined my life, because you sign waivers. You sign waivers for these things. Anyone who's ever had lip filler, you know you sign a waiver because it's informed consent. You know what's going to happen to you, so you sign that waiver. I don't know, just a bit of a sidetrack rant there. It's so frustrating being gatekept at every single, like, part of my transition, even though, quite literally, it's clearly obvious I've been living as a woman now for, like, for 10 years! Anyway, back to the reveal.
Wow. Wow, that is great.
Oh, he's gonna look so good once all that swelling settles
Christy's
down.
gonna love this, I think.
The
Look at those
structure of your
cheekbones.
face is being changed subtly. It's close to perfect as I think I could achieve.
Yeah, that's nice. The bump on my nose is gone, even though there's some swelling.
Wow.
I was teased a lot.
I do feel like nowadays, though, he could have done that with filler. I feel like filler nose jobs would have produced a similar result with less, less need for, like, anesthetic and stuff. I don't know, though. I feel like some people just want a permanent option. I wanted a permanent option. I don't think I could have gotten my nose with nose filler, so, you know. Right, let's have a look at the ears.
I thought about my ears growing up.
Amazing.
Wow, they got nothing to tease me about anymore.
I feel like that's going to be one of the things that affects his confidence the most, just to have what he would consider, and as he spoke about earlier, a way of, like, not fixing, but adjusting what he was bullied for as a child growing up. Because those things that we're bullied for as children carry through with us. It takes a long time to undo the trauma of childhood. In fact, I feel like I'm only really getting to, like, 70% of resolving my issues now that I'm in my 30s. So, like, there is hope for everyone, and it just takes a little bit of time. But sometimes going under the knife to use it as a tool to help your happiness along the path of either reconstruction or helping your mind settle into your shell better.
Aren't you clever? Thank you. It's been brilliant.
I feel like this is going to affect his confidence potentially more than his nose. Potentially.
That is awesome. I realize there's some swelling there, and it's only going to get better, so
Yes.
I'm really happy about it.
You see a handsome man at the altar.
I hope so.
Oh, is this for marriage?
Wow, that's cool.
Then, more surprises. Head.
Oh, here we go. So it's time now for the fitness section.
Boss Rutan has gotten inside
very
Fritz's head.
Miriam.
Now for a doctor to work on top of it.
Good morning, Fritz.
Good morning.
There is nothing more important to a man than his hair. It's
Are we going to see a hairline transplant? Are we going to see a hairline transplant? I am fascinated to know what system they used back in this day and age. I had a hairline transplant in 2017. I am very, very, very happy with the results. However, now that my facial features are smaller from facial feminization surgery, I'm considering getting a second one just to round out and feminize my hairline a little bit more. I had 1,750 grafts with an FUT technique with Elite Hair Restoration in London, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. All right, let's see William R. Assman. Let's see what he does.
Let's talk about the procedure that we're planning.
Yes.
There's something called the Fox procedure. It's kind of a minimally invasive hair
procedure.
transplant. That procedure has great appeal for the movie stars who have to have total freedom immediately after the surgery. We don't cut at all on the back of the head. We literally poke out individual hair follicles, then we put them into the recipient area.
Oh my god, this is the FUE technique. This is the one that I should have really gone for when I got mine, but I did, however, get the section of hair removed from the back of my head. FUT it was called, follicular unit transfer, I believe it was called, whereas FUE is follicular unit extraction. And I think for my next hair transplant, I'll either go with FUE or even DHI, which is direct hair implant, which is the same thing, but they use a tool to implant it instead of little individual cuts. He's going to have an amazing hairline. Now, if you saw, he had a line drawn around his hairline. This one. I'll try and go back and see it. This one here, as we can see here. So that is where he is going to make his new hairline. That, to me, is still kind of a little bit high. It's still kind of leaving that like a lot of space here. I feel like they could have brought that forward a bit of a centimeter more. Usually what happens in this situation is a doctor will draw on like 3 or 4 variations of a hairline, and you will come to an agreement where you think that your hairline should go. I didn't exactly have like a bad hairline before. It was just genetic. I just had like high widow's, are they called widow's peaks? These parts going back. So I had that sort of like just rounded off slightly, and I had about 2 centimeters on each. Let me try and show you. About this much hair transferred from the back to here. And now I want just like maybe like 1 more just around there. So this is cool. I love this. I think hairline transplants for men is probably the most effective way that you can bring like revitalization back to like the male experience, if you know what I mean. It's one of the procedures now that's actually super, super popular. I see people getting it done all the time. Unfortunately, I do see a lot of people like flying out to Turkey to get it done, and that in itself carries its own risks when actually it's not that unaffordable to have it done in your own country. Like, for example, in London, mine was very affordable, much more affordable than I assumed it was going to be, because the media in the UK likes to be like,
$20,000 on a hair transplant, oh my god, the Daily Mail!
When actually, it's not like that at all. It is nowhere near that cost. The only thing about hairline transplant, it takes so long to heal.
I'm gonna be hot.
With a movie star hairline.
Right, what's
now,
next?
it's only a few days until Fritz returns to Minnesota.
Are we gonna see
and
the...
his fiancée, Christy.
Oh! Made me realize everything that you do around here. I do want to tell you that I love you.
He looks so good.
And I can't wait till you're home with me again. And
Christy said she loved me, and it really makes me feel emotional too.
That's what you want to hear.
He may miss the Christy he left in Minnesota, but what Fritz doesn't know, she's not there. Christy's on a secret mission to LA for a surprise date with Fritz.
Oh my god!
Hey, Christy. Hi. I'm Sam.
Hi, Sam.
How are you? Nice to meet you. Welcome to Los Angeles.
But first, a mini makeover with Sam.
Oh yes, they did this in the last one as well, didn't they? They do like a secret mini makeover for the partner or the wife or the husband or whatever of the person that was actually going on the show. That's kind of cute, actually. I kind of like that. We saw that a little bit in Bridal Plasty as well, when Alison won, her fiance at the time, husband now, also went on like a fitness journey himself. So I kind of like that they're bringing other people in and not just being like,
you're gonna go back to your partner as like a sex bomb, girls.
We're gonna do it all without Fritz's knowledge, and then you're both gonna be surprised when you see each other at
this
the
man
reveal.
is so... Oh my
Excited?
goodness, did you see that tilt of the camera? That is so early 2000s MTV. Do you ever see people going like, wiggle in and tilt the camera now, girls? Oh my goodness, aren't we retro and edgy and relatable to the teenage folk?
Fritz, it's time to send you home to the freezing cold of Minnesota. We got the dog sled outside. I got a parka for you to wear at your reveal. Are you ready to go home?
I'm not ready for the cold, but I'm ready to go home.
Well, you're gonna go home with some great looking hair today. We're here with Penny of Beverly Hills. He is gonna...
What a weird way to introduce a hair segment. We're gonna send you home. Time to go. Bye. But before, the hairdresser.
hook you up with a great looking head of hair for your reveal.
Right, okay.
For Fritz, he's having hair transplant. We're gonna fill it up anyway until his own hair transplant will grow back.
As Christy...
Oh, not sure about that. Not sure about that, girls. So they do in fact say, your doctor will say, do not touch the donor or the transfer site whilst it is healing. Don't wear wigs. Don't wear like any of that. I had to wear like a loose hat. I wonder if I still have it. No, I might have thrown it away now. I had a hat that said my name across it and I was just like, yes, that's what I'm wearing. But they stress so much, do not touch the donor site or the transplant site, because you risk actually knocking those transferred follicles out, especially if you're going to glue on something like a hairpiece or a wig or a toupee or something. So I'm really surprised that they did that. But I mean, I guess because it's a TV show and because they wanted like the reveal to look like how he's going to look, I guess I can understand why they did it from like that point of view, but that is something that you will find many cosmetic surgeons being like, don't do that, girls. Don't do it.
You ain't getting elected.
Gets in place for the surprise. Sam sets it up.
Fritz, we have a little surprise for you. One of the reporters who first surprised you back in Minnesota is here today to do a little bit of a follow-up interview. So I hope you have a great time.
Cool.
What? What? No, it's not. It's your wife. How very sensual. Gagged.
Wow.
Oh my God, he's shaking.
Next, things are about to heat up. At the makeover mansion, Christy has had a mini makeover and is about to see
Cilla
the
Black
totally
is shaking.
transformed Fritz.
Surprise, surprise.
No idea she's here.
Wow. I don't believe it.
Oh my goodness. Oh, he looks very Hollywood toothpaste. Toothpaste? Toothpaste. Hollywood
The look in
dentist.
Christy's eyes was phenomenal. Just the way she looked at me.
Oh.
She opened her doors.
Oh my goodness. So he looks very much like a Just for Men advert, which I feel like Just for Men, if you don't know Just for Men is a hair dye brand that's been around since about the early 2000s. It might even be a bit earlier than that. And all the men on there have a very specific all-around American man look. He has that look, which I feel like is very what everyone kind of aspired to look like, what every man aspired to look like back in the day, like generic, suit-wearing, banker, financial advisor kind of vibe. Do you know what I mean?
Well, this is awkward.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I like my men to have something a bit different about them. But if he's happy, that's what's so important. But we haven't seen any of the body healing in this episode so far. We haven't seen really any of the face healing. And I wonder if in the original episode there was that section and they've removed it just for like, oh, look at me. I'm a doctor who does this. How amazing can you be?
She opened that door. It's like, holy crap.
Oh. Has he had teeth done as well? He's had veneers.
You just don't know.
I know, it's just...
Da Vinci
It just blew me away. Fritz is very hot.
I thought you were beautiful, but it's like... Oops. I'm undressing you right here. Like...
He's got a lot of healing to go still, but that is quite a transformation.
You gotta wait till later, honey.
I just wanted to step back and take a little look, because it's like, wow. You look so nice.
I felt very beautiful for him. And then to have him look at me like, holy, she's hot. You know, it's always a great reaction to get.
We don't know what her makeover involves.
Kind of sexy, huh?
Fitness, maybe?
Very sexy.
What do you think of him?
The hair. He's got hair I can run my fingers through. His ears.
Fritz's look has changed. Here's what he received. A nose job.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. He's gone from rural farmer to almost like race car driver? Do you get that vibe? Do you get the vibe of race car driver? I definitely do. He looks like someone in Formula One, and I can't think who it is. But yes, let's look. The chin, you can really see the chin implant has made a massive difference, giving him a stronger jawline. Exactly what he wanted. Exactly what is considered traditionally masculinely attractive. He's had his teeth done. He's had a nose job, a brow lift, hairline transplant, and he's had a good shave. Look how different a good shave makes. Massive difference. Okay, and his eyes are so much more open. Oh, those cheekbones as well. Right, I've interrupted because I'm so excited. But facial masculinization surgery, look, girls, you can do it too.
And that's the Darjeeling.
Mini brow lift. His ears were pinned back and fat injected into his cheeks, along with buccal fat removal.
He looks so much younger.
To his belly and love handles. A hair transplant and hair restoration. He received 8 Da Vinci porcelain veneers and crowns and whitening.
Da Vinci girls!
I want your gum tissue.
And a major injection of self-confidence.
Ooh! Fritz, she's been on PowerPoint.
Go f yourself.
Fritz was Minnesota cold. Now he is on fire, as we are about to hear, at a reveal party in Minnesota's famous Zura Shrine Center.
Right.
I would now like to introduce to you the best-looking couple in Minnesota.
Okay. Oh, everyone is screaming. Oh, he does look great. Oh my goodness, this woman has lost her mind. That is witchcraft. Plastic surgery on men is witchcraft.
Experience to go through. It's just almost indescribable.
And so the guy who always gave more than he got gets the girl of his dreams.
Wow! I was speechless! Wow, I've got some thoughts, my loves. Okay, as I've said, first of all, I think it is absolutely brilliant that we have seen a masculine makeover on one of these plastic surgery shows. We don't get to see them very often, but this one was a great example of just what is available to be done. And the thing is also that a lot of what he had done was fat related, like fat injections, fat removal, which is something that doesn't necessarily have to be done under the surgeon's knife now. You could go out and get some cheek filler. You could go out and get some jawline filler. You could also have like chin filler. I have actually had chin filler recently, just to help my jawline create that V shape. I don't know what the word is. I feel really like happy and proud of him for being able to do something that really benefited him. He seemed like such a wonderful guy and didn't have any like negative, like masculine takes, like toxic masculinity about him. I mean, granted, we've only seen 10 minutes of a show and basically a 10-minute look into his life, but I genuinely got a feeling of like, I don't know, just really nice to see him doing well. Do you know what I mean? It's so nice to see people doing well when we see so much nonsense in reality TV, and especially makeover shows. I think that this was a perfect example of facial masculinizing procedures and facial masculinizing surgeries. I feel like He looked great at the end. He looked younger. He looked more put together. He did kind of still have that little bit of like plastic Hollywood look about him. But I think also because it's TV, he's going to be wearing a full face of makeup. He's going to be having like lights on him at a certain angle to look great on TV. I would have loved to have seen him like back on the farm a few months later, like a catch up being like, this is what he looks like now with a little bit of stubble growing in. Those sorts of things that we can really see when he's fully healed and also in his like normal, usual daily life, if you know what I mean. I feel like a lot of these makeover shows need to include that because you're going to get several reveals. As we've mentioned in The Swan, the first reveal they see is when they are glammed up to the nines, you know, hair extensions. They've got a gorgeous gown on that's been custom made. They've had a makeup artist working on them for an hour. They've had a spray tan, all of this stuff. And then when they get home and all of that is gone and they get out of the shower for the first time and really look at themselves, they're going to have a different kind of reveal of like, oh, this is actually what I look like what I'll wake up and look like. So it would have been nice to be able to see something like that. I also feel like his makeover looks very early 2000s. Nowadays, we would definitely be doing, if he had a thinning beard, it would definitely be a hairline transplant to the beard. There would be like a Turkish barber style. I don't know what the name is. Is it fade? Like fade, Turkish barber style, fade, like shave? I don't know what the words are. What are the words? Ugh. And they would have absolutely covered him from head to toe in spray tan and maybe even given him a few tattoos if it was in this day and age. But my lovelies, it's time for the Patreons. You can see yourself scrolling past on the screen here, my lovelies. Yes, you can. Let me know what you think about what we've seen in today's episode. I'm kind of quite uplifted by this. I'm about to do another video related to like unhinged TikToks and I feel like that's gonna dampen my mood. This has uplifted me and that's gonna dampen my mood. Today's Twitch shout out goes to Queen of Hearts 222. Thank you so much for following me over on Twitch, you stunning woman on the go. And if you want to be in with a chance of being featured in my next video's Twitch shout out, make sure you follow me on Twitch. It is Luxeria Plays. I stream 2 nights a week. I'm still kind of like trying to work out exactly which days they are. Usually it's Monday and Thursdays, but keep your eyes peeled. Ugh, how Halloween. And I'll see you over there, my loves. And once again, I want to say a massive thank you to my top tier Patreons. Aloria, Luke Peterson, Orkos Emoji, Beebles32, Camille Sarah, Shell Herman, Christy Crownover, Christina Kyle, ContraPoints, Danielle, Danny Smith, Dr. A, Elizabeth Stone, Eric Castillo, Jen Martin, Jenabeth Herman, Jenny Hendricks, Caitlin Wright, Laura Jane again, Les Banana, Lisa Pennington, Min Min TM, Mariah Sherman, Nixie Tricks, Paolo Rivera, Rachel V, Seabiscuit, Romano, Ryan Vita, Sexy Texy RN, Slampire Queen, Stephanie Utech. Oh, Stephutek's got a full name there. Travelful Tromo and Victoria Carella. Thank you guys so much for allowing my Chanel to thrive and survive. It's kind of annoying at the moment, actually, with what's going on in my channel and the level of copyright strikes I've had and like takedown requests for videos. There will be another video on this, something about Miriam coming up. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I might have to make it a Patreon exclusive through either Twitch or Dailymotion and then do a recap episode for YouTube of what we've seen, just so that the series isn't disrupted. I don't know. I'll let you know when that happens, my loves. And with that, my lovelies, I want to leave it on the note of, if you are a man and you want to have just a little bit of something done just to make yourself feel better about yourself, go ahead. It's not that serious. It's a little bit of filler, a little bit of fat grafting, you know. Maybe plastic surgery is a little bit more than just pop to the office there. But as long as you do your research, make sure it's for you and no one else, you've got my blessing. You don't need it. And with that, my loves, I will see you in the next video. Yes.